faith plus nothing, but the saved sinner lives by grace. Grace is a way to life and the way of life. These two go together by the way. And that concludes. Well, he does give an outline with this section. He um, uh, makes it brief by just giving the high points, but I can read the rest of it if you like. I have mentioned to you, especially for a preacher like Philip, this I would love to have had these outlines when I was young. Well, I did. I had when I surrendered to preach. My uncle Tartar gave me Through the Bible by J. Vernon McGee. But I didn't discover this. But if you go to throughthebible.org, all one word, on the left-hand side, if you scroll down, it's quite a ways, you can see notes and outlines. Click on notes and outlines, and it will give you the outlines and the notes for Galatians. And so you can print those out and follow along if you wish, or however you like. They're not very detailed, but they are the notes and outlines he originally gave long before he ever did the commentary. The first, Roman numeral 1 is the introduction, chapter 1, verse 1 through 10. Under that is the salutation. Cool greetings is chapter 1, verse 1 through 5. B is the subject stated, a warm declaration, chapters 1, verse 6 through 10. Roman numeral 2 is the personal or the authority of the apostle and glory of the gospel, chapters 1, verse 11 through chapter 2, verse 14. Under that is the experience of Paul in Arabia in chapter 1, verse 11 through 24. B is the experience of Paul with the apostles in Jerusalem, chapter 2, verse 1 through 10. The experience of Paul in Antioch with Peter. It is chapter 2, verses 11 through 14. Roman numeral 3, the doctrinal justification of faith, is chapter 2, verse 15 through chapter 4, verse 31. This is faith versus works, liberty versus bondage. A is the justification by faith, the doctrinal statement, chapter 2, verses 15 through 21. B is the justification by faith, the experience of Galatians chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. C is the justification by faith, the illustration of Abraham, chapter 3, verses 6 through chapter 4, verse 18. And D, the justification by faith, the allegory of Hagar and Sarai, chapter 5 or 4, verse 19 through 31. Roman numeral 4 is the practice, the sanctification by the Spirit. That's chapter 5, verse 1 through chapter 6, verse 10. This is spirit versus flesh, liberty versus bondage. Part A is saved by faith, and living by law perpetrates falling from grace. Chapters 5, verse 1 through 15. B, saved by faith and walking in the Spirit produces fruits of the Spirit. Chapter 5, verse 16 through 26. C, saved by faith and fruit of the Spirit presents Christian character. Chapter 6, verse 1 through 10. Roman numeral 4 is the autographed conclusion. That's chapter 6, verse 11 through 18. A, Paul's own handwriting is chapter 6, verse 11. B is Paul's own testimony, is chapter 6, verse 12 through 18. The cross of Christ, number 1, is the cross of Christ versus circumcision, chapter 6, verse 12 through 15. And 2, Christ handwriting on Paul's body, chapter 6, verse 16 through 18, the new circumcision of the new creation. And that ends that section.